Warning. The following content is not to be taken seriously. The worst part, the idiot saying all this genuinely believes he's onto something. Viewer discretion advised.
With Deltarune finished, the fans are craving new content, and by content, obviously new chapters, but some like to see theories. But they're getting tired of hearing the old theories. The old same theories. They want fresh views, and that's where Icy comes in.
I was gonna keep doing the essay voice, but that shit mad annoying, so I'm not gonna do it. From gaming to making theories. Not that far-fetched, but definitely something I thought I would never do. I'm just a viewer. What? I'm just a viewer. I usually let the professionals like game theory handle it. But you know what? This viewer has things to say. And those things are absolutely stupid. You might be thinking to yourself, what's so special about what you think? You're just another amateur theorist. That's the thing though. I'm not even an amateur. I'm not even a theorist. I'm just a gamer winging it! Now you could say that's basically what a theorist is, but I think what's so special about my thoughts is that I'm not really a Deltarune or Undertale content creator. I'm just a guy that played them. And trust, I have my critiques. The fandom is weird as fuck. To be honest, what fandom isn't? In Undertale, there's a severe lack of ass shaking from Toriel. You'd think they'd address this problem in Deltarune, but no! Still no ass shaking from Toriel! The music is alright. Mid at best. My ears totally didn't have orgasms. Oh, dude, I'm gonna start voting! I'm gonna start voting! Boss battles, zero hype, and way too easy. Yeah! I want to challenge Mr. Fox. And instead of seeing my sweet boy Papyrus, all I ever see is that nerd ass, zero game, no shower, probably watches Pat God, blow bird and fuck bird! So yeah. I'm a normie.
Yet you still goon tutorial futa.
God forbid a man has a hobby! So I think hearing theories from someone that's not really associated with the community would be interesting. Who knows? My theories might correlate with pre-existing ones. Mine could be original, and I might be onto something. Or I might just look like an idiot spewing dumb shit. I wouldn't be the first though. I've heard of a Woody theory and something along the lines of the piss and shit theory.
Oh, hell no.
Gotta say, I'll be among the ranks. That being said, welcome to An Idiot Makes Deltarune Theories.
Theory number 1.
Bullshit! There's only one ending! If you look at the About This Game section on Deltarune's Steam page, you'll see it states, can you pet dogs in the first 2 chapters? Wait, chapters 3 and 4 are coming soon. Look, bro. Wait, what? Only one ending? ... question mark. I call malarkey! As seen from Toby Fox's first work, Undertale, the player's actions heavily have consequences, such as accessing a completely different ending if you do what the community has dubbed the genocide route, where you kill every monster in the underground. What the fuck is wrong with you, you sick fuck? Or achieving the true pacifist ending, where you instead spare every monster in the underground, which obviously instead of all the monsters dead, you actually save them, break the barrier, and achieve a glorious happy ending. This just has to be the case with Deltarune. The biggest examples being Chapter 1 ending and the Snowgrave route in Chapter 2. In my first playthrough of Deltarune, I had the misfortune of allowing Susie to slime the ops. See, from not choosing to warn your enemies from Susie or just flat out defeat them, at the end of the King fight, instead of seeing all the enemies you spared help you out with removing King, instead, Rouse uses his Pacify spell and makes him go to sleep. Then after, Lancer appears saying he's come to warn us, quote-unquote, clownlings, although he's a good-for-nothing fat fuck. He then proceeds to tell us that he informed the guys, aka the enemies we fought, that we were fighting his father, but instead of coming to help us, they instead said, "Oh, hell no!" and are breaking the door to the throne room. So instead of being able to take your time and say goodbye to all the enemies you spared, you have to hightail it out that bitch. Quite the big your actions have consequences moment. And for Snowgrave route in Chapter 2, simplified version, while on your escapade with Noelle, you the player make Chris, yes the player, not Chris, force Noelle to freeze all the enemies they encounter. Later on, you meet up with Birdly and make the best decision of your life, kill Birdly. You tell Chris to order Noelle to perform a spell she's never done, Snowgrave. After pestering her to do it, she finally performs it. Her eyes go white, and the arena starts to snow. Then a flurry of snowflakes cover Birdly, and then BAM! That ain't cooked chicken. That whole frozen. Don't believe that killed him? The only description for the move is fatal. Also, if you decide to abort the Snowgrave route by not killing Birdly, why the fuck would you do that? You can go back and use it on enemies, and it comes with an official death animation. And most of all, after coming back from Cyberworld, instead of Birdly and Noelle waking up and leaving the library after that dream, only Noelle wakes up while Birdly is just not waking up. Noelle tries to wake him up, but no dice. She then just brushes it off as him sleeping after studying so much and leaves. We go to check up on him and are met with the text box. He doesn't seem to be awake. AKA, we slammed his ass! Main point, ain't no way this won't come bite us in the ass! We are not going to get a good ending! But, were we ever going to get a good ending in the first place? Question mark?
Teoría número 2.
Your choices don't matter, it all goes wrong. Now you might say, Icy, doesn't this contradict the last theory? How about you contradict these nuts? You can pacify everyone, you can defeat everyone, you can kill Birdly, you can do the third one. Do the third one. In the end, you are a Delta warrior, whose mission is to seal the Dark Fountains and saving the world. While things have been looking good so far, having sealed 2 Dark Fountains, it seems at the end of all foreseeable futures, we'll be on a roll with sealing Dark Fountains, having a grand time, and saving the world. Yeah, nah, I don't buy it! Toby Fox, you're not just gonna have Best Boy Rouse say a whole speech about the world ending and not show us the world ending. We're not just gonna stop the night, hug Rouse, kill Birdly again, and then go home victorious. It's a cliche, but a good one where things seem to be on the path of victory, but all goes wrong. We want that! We want the action! Seriously guys, just imagine the final chapter being Kruh and the gang fighting the Titans while the world is crumbling around them. That shit sounds more hype than killing Birdly! Nah. So yeah, do whatever you want, because unless it's confirmed we come home to see Toriel twerk for 8 hours, it seems no matter what you'll do, it'll might all go wrong no matter what. And it seems to be going that way, because you sure as hell didn't tell Chris to do this. It seems strange that we have no control over Chris after they take out their soul. It is their soul, right?
Théorie numéro 3.
That's you, motherfucker! I can't be the only person who thinks this, right? Guys, please remember, I don't really indulge in the fandom like that, so I really could look like an idiot. Guys, I really thought that me and Kruh was homeboys, considering we're both Should I leave that in? Will people be mad that I said that? Will people be mad that I think Chris is Mexican? It's whatever. The only leverage I have for this theory is Spamton. He says stuff like, you're like me, desperate, and do you want to be a heart on a chain your whole life? And for Chris, that hits them on a personal level. As after the fight, Susie checks up on them saying they have visible goosebumps. This fight clearly resonated with Chris, and Spamton knew they were having the same problem. No freedom. Just like Undertale, we get to interact with everyone, and in Deltarune, we find out a lot about Chris. They had a life. They did things with their family. They hung out with their neighbors. They made their own choices. They were in control. Till we came. Pause. We started to make Chris do things. We started to make Chris say things. We are in control now, and Spamton knows that. Hell, even Noelle's dad knows something's off. Every time we interact with things in his room, he asks Chris if they've simply forgotten. When Spamton says, do you want to be a heart on a chain your whole life? That's him asking Chris if they want control of their life again. When Spamton says, you're like me, desperate, Spamton did anything to get control of his life again. But in the end, he still has strings attached. And for Chris, desperate is an understatement. They went as far as ripping their soul, us, out of themselves to get control again. But in the end, we still got back to controlling them. But that's most likely because Chris put us back themselves. But why? Does Chris need a soul? Does Chris need us? Does Birdly just need to die? I don't know, but yes to the last one. Chris is clearly aware of the player, having literally turned to the screen grinning at us. And at the end of chapter 2, when Susie asked about bringing our Darkner friends over, I made Chris say, seems a little far-fetched. But Chris clearly doesn't think that themselves. I think Chris was trying to show us that no matter what we choose, Chris will always have their choices too. And if they have to remove their very soul to make them, Chris wants you to know, they can do it. You know, in my Deltarune playthrough, please watch it, I said that Chris was a knight, and now that I rewatched it, I think I was just stupid. The queen literally said if you had determination, you too could make Dark Fountains. But I could still be right. In the back, it showed a hand and blade, and Chris did use their hand and stab the ground with a blade. You know what I mean? Nah, Rousey's a knight.
이런요.
Rousey's a knight. And he's Azrael? Alright guys, let's be fucking for real here. Who even is this dude? Are we just supposed to believe he's a prince? Where's the proof? Wouldn't people know that? Literally no one in chapter 1 is like, oh Prince, it's you. Like, bro, gotta be lying. He made that shit up. He's not a prince. He's a guy who went to college. Azrael seems to be a hot topic around town. Town's big brother heads to college. Everyone misses him. They wonder how he's doing and when he's coming back. You know what I think? Bro's been back! Peep game and lock in. College life wasn't for Azrael. He missed his family. Bro came back at some point but discovered a dark fountain, as we've seen going down when alters your appearance, and seemingly a form that fits you? Or maybe your desire. Azrael can't handle the adult life. He just wants to go back to being a kid when life was good and fun. Hence his form looking like, well, a child. Azrael sees this as an opportunity to finally be free of responsibility and be a kid again. But he soon realizes he has a power to make worlds. But what will he do with it? He sure does miss his sibling Chris. It clicks. Azrael makes a plan to bring Chris to that world so they can have fun together again, just like the old days before college. But how will he do it? Azrael poses as a knight and starts making dark fountains. He then fabricates a convincing story. He's a dark prince. There's prophecy. There's dark fountains that will end the world if not destroyed. That would sound like baloney, but Azrael knows it'll work considering the wacky new world they're in is crazy enough. But with that, it'll work. But as he doesn't think it's a good idea to reveal himself just like that, we have to go under a new name. Rouse. Rouse waits and waits until Chris would fall down, and then BAM! The plan is set in motion. Everything seems fine. He's hanging out with Chris and having a good time, saving the world. But in chapter 2, the slip was almost up. How did Rouse get to the cyber world without turning into stone? It's because he's not a real Darkner. He's from the light world because he's Azrael. Birdly almost foils his plan by attempting to make a dark fountain. If they found out you could make a dark fountain and nothing bad would happen, they will start to question Rouse's story about the dark fountains ending the world. So he quickly thinks of another story. The Roaring. It's enough to stop Birdly and convince them all not to go through with it. That was a close one for Azrael. Now that no one will make dark fountains, he can keep making them himself, so him and Chris can keep going on adventures with each other. But Christopher has other plans. In chapter 3, if we see Rouse be like, what the flip, and be very scared, you come back to this video and say, Icy might have been cooking. You made it to the end? Wow. You must feel like an idiot. I warned y'all. I really put so much thought into these, but I just know if you told anyone these theories, they'd think you had the IQ of a glucose cell. I'll probably never make a video like this again. Scripting is such a chore. I got distracted way too much. Probably the most effort I put into a video, and it's probably gonna flop anyway, but thought I'd try something new. But just in case I do something like this again, please leave me notes. Tell me if I did ass, tell me how to improve, call me an idiot for spewing nonsense, kill Birdly. But anyways, please consider subscribing and comment and like and share. I don't know. But yeah, this has been Icy, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye bye.